Hello my friends, welcome back to A Common Touch of Fantasy. My name is Paul and today I'm going over what I read during the week of April 7th through the April 13th and talking about my currently reading and my productivity, and also I'm going to have a library book haul in this video too. So let's look at the stats. I finished one book. It was my own book. Which is great. I finished 8 comic issues. I read more Batman, and then I read some, actually got the end of that volume of Batman from the library, so I can finish out that volume. And I read about 19 hours of actual reading. TBR number is now 9 out of 50. I'm trying to read those 50 books within this year, so we'll see what happens there. The book that I finished, and I finished this earlier in the week, was Ruin by Gwynne. This is the 3rd book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. Now this series is an epic fantasy series, and I think that there's some similarities to the Tad Williams Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series a little bit. If you would mash that series with like Game of Thrones, you'd kind of get what this series is by Gwynne. It is a multiple POV series, and Ruin, the 3rd book, is mostly and primarily a book about people traveling to a destination. Now, I'm okay with these type of books. However, this one was just a little too long, and it took just a little too long for people to arrive at their destination. Yes, it built this great tension, and yes, there were some amazing scenes within this book. However, it just seemed like it went on and on and on. And looking back on it after finishing it like 4 or 5 days ago, it's hard to really recap this book because it all kind of blended together. In fact, that is one thing about this series which could either be good or bad, is that each book blends together with the former and the one after that. Yes, it's creating a nice, fluid, epic arc of a story. However, it's hard to say where one ended and one where one began. But I am enjoying it quite a bit. Now, there's a character in this series who is stealing the show from all the other characters, and that is Gwynne. I have a feeling that most people like Gwynne quite a bit. It's Maquin, and he, started out as a defender of these princes that were supposed to become the rulers of their land. He became a slave. He became a pit fighter, where he had to literally kill a bunch of people to try to get free from the pits that he fought in. And then he became a fugitive. He became a person helping a woman that he falls in love with, and his character arc is just fantastic, and his purpose is revenge, basically. However, you can tell that he is changing quite a bit throughout this entire story, and he's basically stealing the show. I really like Gwynne. Corbin, who you would consider to be one of the main characters, is kind of he's not very complex of a character. However, as this book and then the next book, Wrath, goes on, his character takes a nice character arc that I am enjoying. I would definitely recommend this epic fantasy series to people that are looking for a really chunky book, epic fantasy, to just kind of relax with and enjoy the world. There are a lot of war scenes and battle scenes and gruesome scenes, so if that's not your thing, then definitely you probably don't want to check it out. I'll probably talk more about the series as a whole when I review Wrath. Now, Moon Over Soho by Ben Aronovich, I had to DNF this one. I was listening to it on audiobook, and I also had the physical book in case I wanted to read along. I did not have many feelings about this one way or the other. At probably the 40% mark, I just felt like I don't know why I'm still listening to it. In the future, I might try to reread this series in physical book form because the audiobooks just don't work for me. The character of Peter Grant is just not that interesting of a character. I am currently reading Wrath by John Gwynne. I'm about halfway through that. I was hoping I could finish this as well for today, but not so much. On audiobook, I'm listening to The Trader Baru Cormorant, and also I'm following along in the physical book. This is by Seth Dickinson. I read this years ago, and I was one of the few people that disliked this book. I had my reasons. However, I feel like I am a different reader now, a more mature reader, and listening to it on audiobook has helped me quite a bit with this book. One of my main issues with this book was that the way Dickinson wrote dialogue, it was hard to follow who was speaking and who was speaking to whom. However, in the audiobook, it is much easier. And I am noticing small details in this book that I didn't notice the first time through. And the reason why I'm retrying this is I feel like I didn't give it a fair shot the first time. And also, I wouldn't mind seeing if I enjoyed this enough to continue this series. After that, I'll probably go to Changeless by Gail Carriger on audiobook and enjoy that series some more. It's been a while since I've read the first book. Alright, let's talk about the library book haul. So I got a bunch of books that I haven't read yet for the Hugos, and I wanted to share what I got. So we got Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rowanhorse. We got Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. And I figured since I was getting this one, I might as well go ahead and get Rogue Protocol by Martha Wells and Exit Strategy by Martha Wells. Why not? If I enjoy them, then I'll just continue with the series. And I love these little books, these Tor little books. They're so cool. I'm probably going to reread All Systems Red before I read these. I also got Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente. This is the one that I'm a little bit worried about liking or not liking. We'll see about this one. I also got Binti, The Night Masquerade, the third novella in this series. I enjoyed the second one the most so far. The first one was just an okay read to me. Looking forward to seeing what happens in this third one. This one's a little bit longer for a novella. I also got The New Kid. It is a juvenile graphic novel about a young kid that moves to a school. And my book friend Tara read this and she liked it. And I also have, when I'm just relaxing or I'm having my daily lunch at work, I have The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, the Percy Jackson illustrated edition, and I really like this illustrated edition. It's pretty cool. So I've never read those books, and I wanted to give the first book a try. So far, it's okay. I haven't read a whole lot of it. Like I said, I've been just reading it at work during my break. I also have on the way The Tea Master and the Detective by Aliette de Bodard, and I have on hold The Black Drums. Yeah, The Black Drums God? Oh man, I can't believe I messed that up. I even looked it up before I started this. The Black God's Drums. I'm sorry about that. By P. Jelly Clark. I even looked that up before I started, and I still messed it up. But I researched how to say jelly for forever, and so hopefully I get some credit for doing that. Which reminds me, authors, put on your website, your personal website, how to say your name. I don't think that's patronizing. I think that just makes sense. So please just put on your blog or your website how to say your name. Okay, primary goals. I've been doing fine recently with my goals. I struggled one day really badly because I hurt my toe. I got turf toe, which is basically a sprain in your big toe. It only lasts like 3 or 4 days, But boy, trying to exercise with that was difficult. So the one day I did walk to work and back, and I was struggling. And then the next day, I ended up trying to do exercises without, walking, like just doing other things. So I had a hard time this week with my goals. I was doing my goals up until 10 o'clock one night, which is something I never do. So a little bit burning out. However, doing these videos helps me to remotivate myself. But I'm doing good. 30 minutes of out loud reading has probably been the most difficult thing to do, but I am doing it. Haven't messed up yet, and with my weight, I'm down a few pounds, so I'm looking good. However, it really depends on what day I weigh myself when it comes to meeting that goal. So I'm thinking I'm just going to weigh myself on May 1st, and whatever that is in the morning, that's what it's going to be. So hopefully it'll go okay. And if I am able to do all that every single day, I get to buy myself a book. If I fail, I have to buy 2 books. Secondary goal, reduce TBR by 10 books this month. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this just because these library books for the Hugos, I'm thinking about diving into those instead of reading the Joe Abercrombie books that I initially had scheduled for this month. So we'll see. The 25-hour reading mark, I'm going to be trying that this coming week because I have a couple days off of work. So I'm going to try to squeeze in as much reading time during this coming week as I possibly can. Continue to walk. The shelf reading at the library, I've been doing pretty good at this. I missed a few days this week. However, I think I'm ahead of schedule, and I think I'll be able to finish this and shelf read the entire library. In solitude time, I've been doing that. I've been doing good. So let's look at my time management. My time management from April 7th through April 13th. I only read 19 hours. This is a little bit lower than I wanted it to be. Movie time and TV time, 5 hours, which is not that bad. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. Computer time is about where I want it to be, 7.5 hours. I need to remember to close my tabs though more, because I did have to adjust this because I left tabs open while I was away, and it messed up my time. However, what's good about this is I am definitely watching more YouTube videos, and I am actually trying to be more social on the Twitter and on YouTube with the BookTube individuals, just to try to make more connections because I need to do that. Basically, when I come home from work between 6 and 7, I am trying to watch YouTube and connect with people on Voxer and on Twitter and stuff like that to try to make friends, try to become closer friends with people. My phone time was up this week mainly because I got my brother's Echo Dot, and so I've been using Alexa a lot. Yeah, it did turn on. And I've been using it quite often, and I connected it to Spotify, and I'm trying to listen to more music and use the Alexa thing to listen to podcasts and to audiobooks at nighttime before I go to sleep, stuff like that, and it's been going pretty well. Exercise, I did quite a bit this last week, probably why I got turf toe and sprained my toe. So, yeah. But I am happy with the amount of exercise I'm doing and the progress I'm making at the gym. So, I did something at the gym yesterday, which I'm very uncomfortable about doing. I recorded myself doing squats to look at my form, and it was just so uncomfortable because there's people around, and here I'm like setting up my phone on the floor, and it's against a weight, and it's just very, very awkward. However, it's the only way I can know if I'm doing my form correctly without asking people. So I did that, and my form was okay, just a little bit off when I come up. Anyways, that's what I've been up to, and I'm hoping to read and finish Wrath and the Trader Brew Cormorant this week. Those are my primary reading goals. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you guys all next week.